What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Today we have a couple of news stories that we need to discuss here in the NASCAR world. Let's just jump straight into it. So, the first story we're going to talk about is James Hinchcliffe in NASCAR video. Why am I talking about James Hinchcliffe? Well, you're going to hear it right now. James Hinchcliffe has joined the NBC Motorsports as an on-air analyst for just one season. It is a one-year deal like I just mentioned. He will call 10 IndyCar races this season, and he will also cover the Brickyard 400. Pretty cool that James Hinchcliffe is getting an opportunity in IndyCar to basically cover some races this upcoming season. I think it's really cool that he's going to be joining the broadcast booth. I think he can bring a lot to the table. It sucks that he doesn't have a full-time ride in IndyCar. He does have a few races he is running this season in IndyCar. I do follow IndyCar, just saying. But yeah, pretty cool that James Hinchcliffe is going to get an opportunity in IndyCar to cover some races, and pretty cool that he's also going to be there for the Brickyard 400 weekend to cover the Indy Grand Prix, well, the Xfinity Series at the Indianapolis Grand Prix, and the Cup race in Indianapolis. That's going to be really, really fun to definitely watch. James Hinchcliffe, I think, can bring, like I said, could bring a lot to the table. Let's get into the next story. NASCAR is talking to FaZe Clan. Yes, this is awesome, pretty cool right here. So here's some details. This is coming from Adam Stern. It may host some of the FaZe folks from the FaZe Clan at this weekend's race at Fontana. They also sent them an iRacing rig, and Anthony Alfredo will have FaZe logos on this weekend on his gear and his car. So yeah, really cool there. NASCAR, once again, is getting better with the marketing. This is a huge deal. If this is true that the FaZe Clan is possibly in the talks of coming to this race, and NASCAR is trying to work with FaZe Clan, this shows that NASCAR is willing to try new things, because over the last few years, NASCAR has been willing to try new stuff. They got Barstool Sports, they're bringing some of the NASCAR YouTubers to these races and having them come out. And even Steve Phelps is going to be on the NASCAR Weekly podcast Wednesday. This is a huge deal. And then them going to FaZe Clan and talking to them. And they've been with like other Twitch streamers like Nick at 30 for like Daytona 500. This is a really awesome deal. Really cool to see that NASCAR is in talks with FaZe Clan. This could bring a lot of young and upcoming fans to the sport. Barstool Sports brings those fans that are 30 years or younger, and you got a lot of young fans, a lot of younger children and stuff that could become NASCAR fans because FaZe Clan could come in and talk about it and maybe become part of it, and maybe FaZe Clan will have their own racing league. Maybe I know I'm just exaggerating, but it'd be really cool. It's really cool that they're in talks with FaZe Clan. NASCAR is doing a lot of good things. There's a lot of good stuff in this episode. Just stick around. There's a lot to talk about. Now to the next story. You know that truck bounty that I talked about a couple days ago? Well, we have a little bit of updates on it. Two drivers will be fighting for this truck bounty. It'll be Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. We'll be challenging Kyle Busch to get $100,000. They are challenging Kyle Busch. So, there will be two races that Chase Elliott's going to run. He will be running Atlanta and Kansas, while Kyle Larson will be running Homestead. And Charles Denick, who was the car chief for Stuart Friesen, or engineer car chief, whatever it was, he will be the crew chief for these two drivers when they do race against Kyle Busch. Let me just say for the record, Chase Elliott, I think, is going to have a little bit of a tough time to beat Kyle Busch when he runs in Atlanta and Kansas. But Kyle Larson, let's just talk about this. Kyle Larson running Homestead against Kyle Busch. Let me just say this for the record. I think that Kyle Larson can beat Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch was actually talking to Bob Pockrass earlier today, and he said that Kyle Larson is probably his biggest threat. If they were to compete, Kyle Busch's biggest threat is going to be Kyle Larson, because Kyle Larson, we all know he's really good at Homestead. He's very strong. He runs that high line, and he can use that high line to his advantage, and it can really help him, guide him around the racetrack. I think Kyle Larson brings a lot to the table for this, and Chase Elliott will bring a lot to the table. And I think you're going to have some new fans come to the Truck Series that weren't watching the Truck Series before, might come watch Truck Series now, because Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and Kyle Busch are in it. Now, granted, I was pissed off a couple days ago about this. I just said I didn't like this, but hey, at least someone might have a shot to beat Kyle Busch once. Granted, it's this Cup guys running it. In my personal opinion, though, and I don't know if I mentioned this, I actually think that anyone that beats Kyle Busch in these races should get $100,000 and not just the full-time Cup drivers. I wish that was the case, but it's really cool to see that Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson are going to run the truck races. Man, it's going to be really, really exciting to see. Now to the next story. Danny Bone will be running 5 races for On Point Motorsports currently at this moment. He will be sponsored by North American Motor Car, and Sierra Delta will sponsor him. I said that twice. The 5 races will be Atlanta, Richmond, Charlotte, Bristol, and Talladega. Pretty cool to see Danny Bone. He got an 8th place finish at Martinsville last October. Granted, last October's Martinsville truck race was kind of a crazy race where we had a bunch of wrecks that took place at the end of the race, and we all saw what happened with Fox's coverage. But it's pretty cool Danny Bone will be trying to race those 5 races. My expectations for him in those 5 races, this truck field is so competitive that it's really hard to predict how he's going to do. In my opinion, at least a couple top 20s would be a goal for him. It's a tough field. This is the toughest truck field we've probably had ever in the Truck Series. As far as I remember, this is one of the toughest truck fields, most competitive truck fields I've ever seen. Same with the Cup field. The Cup Series field is so competitive this year. But Danny Bone, good luck to you, man. I wish you the best of luck this year, and I hope to see you do well. Just don't wreck the cars, please. Now to the next story. Blue Emu has signed a partnership with NASCAR. They have become an official partner with NASCAR and will sponsor the May Cup race at Martinsville. The race will be called the Blue Emu Maximum Pain Relief 500. Really cool stuff there. So the Martinsville night race has a sponsor. Good stuff there. Now to the next story. Plan B Sales will be sponsoring Ryan Truex at Atlanta in the Atlanta Spring Race this upcoming season. Ryan Truex, remember, will be running, I think it's 5 races this year for NISA Motorsports, and this is one of the races that he will be sponsored. Plan B Sales has been sponsoring a lot of people last couple of years. They've been sponsoring a lot of drivers, and they're continuing to sponsor drivers in this series, and they add on to Ryan Truex. Now to the next story. Chalk Children's Hospital will be sponsoring Brennan Poole Auto Club. I believe Spartan Mosquito, which is a sponsor for Brennan Poole this year, I believe they're donating $100,000 to this children's hospital, which is really cool. That's pretty cool stuff on their part. Great to hear that. That's awesome news. That's really cool to hear. And now, finally, Matt Tifft is continuing to recover from his 2 seizures that he's had. He's been finding relief with CBD oil, and he hopes to be racing again, but there are no guarantees that he will be racing in the future. I've been saying this about CBD oil. It's a great thing. I made a video, but I never published it, but I want to talk about CBD oil. CBD oil, I know that everyone thinks about marijuana is bad and stuff. I think CBD oil, in my personal opinion, is really good, because what it does, it relieves anxiety, depression. It can help relieve a lot of good things. And hearing that Matt Tifft is improving is also a very good thing to hear. As I mentioned before, Matt Tifft has had 2 seizures. He had one back at the Martinsville fall race last year when Matt Crafton took over for that one race, and then John Nemechek for a couple races. And then while he was on his honeymoon with his wife now, Jordan, he had a seizure on December 12th. To hear that Matt Tifft at least is recovering at this moment is amazing and inspiring to me. It's really cool to see that Matt Tifft is continuing to improve, because I really hope to see Matt Tifft back on the racetrack or come back to NASCAR in some shape or form. Maybe he doesn't like an on-air analyst or an Xfinity Series or the Truck Series or even the Cup Series. Come and do something with NASCAR, because I really hope and pray that he gets a return to the racetrack in some shape or form, because it's really cool to see that Matt Tifft is at least recovering at this moment. So yeah, those are some of the NASCAR news stories that I needed to catch up on. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on so you can be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links in the description below for that. And comment below your opinions and discuss with me in the comments below what's your thoughts on some of the news that I talked to you guys about today. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.